Good morning, Year 4. Hope you're all okay and had a really good weekend. Today we're going to carry on with subtracting and adding fractions, but before we go into that, can you please simplify these fractions? So remember, by simplify, it just means make them as small as you can, or make the numbers in the fraction as small as you can. So you've got to use your times table in order to do this. Have a go, and then we'll go through what you could have simplified them down to in a minute. So hopefully you managed to have a go at simplifying them, the fractions. Let's look at 4, 6 first. So 4, 6, I can see straight away they are even numbers, so we can divide it by 2. So 4 divided by 2 would be 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And you can't simplify it any more than that. So 2/3 is 4, 6 simplified in its simplest form. 9/24. So with this one, you had to work out what both 9 and 20, what times table both 9 and 24 were in. We can't divide them by 2 because 9 is an odd number, but hopefully you realise they were in a 3 times table. So you could divide 9 by 3, which is 3. 24 divided by 3, which is 8, which would give you 3/8. So 9/24 simplified is 3/8. And then 25/40. Now this one's a bit different because they're bigger numbers, but hopefully that didn't scare you too much. What I always look at is the end number. They end in a 5 and a 0, so therefore they are going to be in the 5 times table. So 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. So 25/40 in its simplest form would be 5/8. Hopefully that was all okay. If you do want to recap anything on simplifying, the video should still be on YouTube for you to have a look at. So today, as I said, we're looking at subtracting and adding fractions still, but we're going to be using word problems today. We're looking at them and using our knowledge that we've learned so far to solve them. So we've got all the same star words, but we have subtract and add today because we'll be using both skills. So let's go through some questions together first. So this is the first one. There is 2 kilograms of sugar in the cupboard. I use up 3/8 of the sugar. How much sugar is left? So before we think about what we're going to do, what are the key words in this question and how can we work it out? If you've got someone there to talk to or have a think, if you want to have a think about it, then pause it now, have a think, and then we'll go through it. So if we're looking at the key words first, 2 kilograms of sugar. That is definitely a key word because that is the amount. So there are 2 kilograms of sugar, and I use up 3/8 of my sugar. How much sugar is left? And normally when you're talking about how much is left, normally, not always, but normally that means you're subtracting. So for this question, you are subtracting 3/8 from 2 kilograms. So let's work out them. So all I've done is 2 shapes because it's 2 wholes, so that's why I've chosen to do 2, and they are split into 8 equal shapes because that is our denominator. So they're split into 8ths. Okay, so if I have 2 kilograms, which that is 1 whole, that's 2, and I'm taking away 3 kilograms, then I can just cross them out. 1, 2, 3. And then you just count how many are left. So you've got 1 whole left still, because this is 1 whole. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 left. So 1 whole and 5/8 kilograms is left. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. Let's move on to another one then. The next one says, I ate 4/7 of a pizza on Friday evening and then ate 2/7 of it on Saturday morning. How much is left? So again, what's the key words in the question and how can we work it out? So straight away I can see I ate 4/7 of the pizza on Friday evening and then 2/7 on Saturday morning. How much is left? So again, we are going to be doing some subtracting with this. So we need to work out how much is left from the pizza. So we can use a fractionship to work this out as well, because if I ate 4/7 of the pizza on Friday evening and then ate 2/7 of it on Saturday morning, how much is left? So I don't actually need to draw 2. I don't know why I've done 2, but you can just look at this one. So this is just 1 whole. It can't be any more than 1 whole because it says it doesn't say there's more than 1 pizza. So if we have these split into 7ths, because that's our denominator, So they're split into 7. And I ate 4/7, so I'm going to take away 4/7 from my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to take away another 2 because that's what I ate on Saturday morning. And then we are left with 1/7. So 1/7 of the pizza is left, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. It's a bit different to the other one because with that one, you were subtracting from a whole number, whereas this one, I guess you are still subtracting from a whole number, but it's not so explicit. You have to work out that you were taking it away from a whole number. You could have also added these together and then taken away from a whole, but this is probably easier, just to do it taken away both at the same time. Okay, one more then. So it says 3 bottles contain 2/8 kilograms, 6/8 kilograms, and 5/8 kilograms of coffee. So there's 3 bottles and they contain those amounts of coffee. 1 jar can hold a total of 1 kilogram. How many full jars can be made using the bottles? What are the keywords in this question and how can we work out? So pause the video again, have a think, and then we'll go through the keywords and what we're going to do to solve it. Okay, so the keywords then, we have 2/8 kilograms, 6/8 kilograms, and 5/8 kilograms. So those are definitely going to be important. And it says 1 jar can hold 1 kilogram. How many full jars can be made using the bottle? So that's basically saying how many holes would fit into 2/8, 6/8, and 5/8. So what we need to do is add them up and then work out how many holes are in them. So I've got 3 bottles contain 2/8, and I've just drawn some shapes that have been split into 8s because that's our denominator. And I'm just going to count them up, add them together, and then work out how many holes we've got. So there's 2 8s here, so that would be 1, 2, and then we've got 6 8s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore we've got 1 hole already, and then we've got another 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore it would fill up 1 hole and 5/8 jars. And the question says how many full jars can be made using the bottles, therefore it's 1. Okay, so hopefully that made sense using the fraction strip as well. Okay, so now it's time for you to have a go at some questions. Some of you have a mathematics task set where you're just going to be doing some more practice on adding and subtracting. Once you feel ready, then come back and have a go at some of the questions. The rest of you, if you could go straight onto the questions, and then we'll go through the answers afterwards. This is your first one. The second one, I'll make that a bit bigger. Number 3. And then this is your challenge. So have a go at those for me, and then once you've spent about 15-20 minutes or so on them, come back and we'll go through the answers. Okay, time to go through the answers then. So the first one says, a farmer ploughed 5/7 of an acre of his field in the morning and 4/7 of an acre in the afternoon. How much of his field did the farmer plough in total? So in total means to add normally. So we are adding 5/7 because that's how much he ploughed in the morning, and 4/7 because that's how much he ploughed in the afternoon. And it's also got it here for you in a fraction strip. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/7 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So you can add those up in your head probably because you know the denominator is going to be 7. And 5, add 4, 5 on your head, 4 on your fingers, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would be 9/7. If you want to convert that back to a mixed number fraction, it would be 1 whole and 2/7. You could also use a fraction strip to help you work that out, because you could have done, if you knew that he did 5/7 in the morning and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, take up those 2. And then you could have drawn another fraction strip, or just use this one to do those 2 extra ones. So you can see there it's 1 whole and 2/7. The next one then, it says Abigail, Phoebe and Naomi have a bottle of juice. Abigail drinks 3/17 of the bottle. Phoebe drinks 2/17 more than Abigail. What fraction of the juice is remaining for Naomi? So this one is quite complicated, hence why I left this part of the question on there for you to help you out with it. So it says, first I'm going to find out how much Phoebe drinks, and then how much Abigail, and then how much Abigail and Phoebe drink together. So if we know that Abigail drinks 3/17, I'll just do an A. So she drinks 3/17. We know that Phoebe drinks 2/17 more than Abigail. So Phoebe drinks 2/17 more. So all we're going to do is add them together, because if she drank 2/17 more, and if you add it on, then that'll be how much she's drank. So 3, keep the denominator the same, which is 17, and then 3 add 2 is 5. So Phoebe has drank 5/17. What fraction of the juice is remaining for Naomi? So now you're going to take away from a whole 3/7 and 3/17 and 5/17. I'll draw a fraction strip quickly to help you with it as well. Okay, so all I've done is drawn a fraction strip, which is split into groups of 17 because that's our denominator. So each one of these boxes is worth a 17th. We know it's one bottle of juice, so I've only drawn one because it's one whole. So if they started with one whole bottle of juice and Abigail drinks 3/17, we go back 3. I'll just cross them out, 1, 2, 3. And then we worked out that Phoebe drank 5/17 because we added 2/17 onto 3/17. So we take away another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we just count how much is left. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 17ths remaining for Naomi. Okay. Next one then says Mo and Amelia each eat some Spanish omelette. Mo eats 5/8 of his Spanish omelette. Amelia eats 7/8 of her Spanish omelette. What fraction has been eaten in total? So you just had to add these two up. So it's 5/8 add 7/8. So your denominator is going to be 8, and 5 add 7 would be 12. So 12/8. If you've written that as a mixed number fraction, it would be 1 whole and 4/8, which is also equivalent to 1 whole and 1/2 if you simplified that down. Moving on to this one then, the challenge, it says Axel picked 1/3 of a kilogram of strawberries and Catherine picked 2/3 of a kilogram of strawberries. Esme ate 3/7 kilograms of the strawberries collected. What amount of strawberries were left? So there's quite a lot to do in this one, but if we break it up, we should be able to work out together. So Axel picked 1/3 of a kilogram of strawberries, Catherine picked 2/3 of strawberries. So we need to work out how many they picked first. So if Axel picked 1/3 and Catherine picked 2/3, we'll add them up, which is 3/3, which is also a whole. Sorry, Mr. Nugent getting in the way. And then it says Esme ate 3/7 of a kilogram of the strawberries collected. What amount of the strawberries were left? So then we know there's a whole that were collected. So I'm going to draw a fraction strip and split it into 7, because that is how much what the denominator is. So each of these is going to be worth a 7th now, and it says she ate 3/7 of them. So 1, 2, 3. What amount of the strawberries were left? 1, 2, 3/7. That's not right. Sorry, I've miscounted that. 1, 2. Hang on. Let me pause the video and let me start that again because that was quite confusing. Okay, round 2. Sorry, I would start the video again, but I'm 14 minutes into it now and I don't really want to do that. So I've split it into groups of 7 because it's a 7th. So each of these are worth a 7th. She has eaten 3/7, so I'm going to just cross out 3/7. What amount of the strawberries were left? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/7 of the strawberries were left. That one's quite a tricky one because you had to do 2 different things, and then you had to, they're different denominators as well, which makes it even more confusing. But hopefully that made it seem a bit less tricky, hopefully. That's everything for today. Hopefully it was all okay. Any questions, any problems, let me know, and hopefully you enjoyed watching.